sitting here today on September 19th, 2013, and we're with Mr. Rux. If you could please spell your name for us.
RUX,
And your first name would be helpful too.
Mike.
You have a
Myron, nobody knows me that. So.
M-Y,
R-O-N.
R-O-N, but Mike is what people know you as?
Yep.
You have a middle name too?
Edward.
And nobody calls you by your middle name?
No. That's worse than Myron.
And you've lived in the area all your life?
Yeah, I was born on the farm out there, and my great-grandfather homesteaded it.
Which farm was that?
Henry Grilling Farm.
Edward?
Henry
Henry.
Grilling Farm. I was born there at home, like most people in them days. And right now, I think there's a gal by the name of Sarah Bauman owns it now. We sold it when my dad died in 1968. Since then, there's a couple clips and French bought it. Superintendent of Hennett County Parks.
Mm-hmm.
And when he died, they sold it, I think, to Sarah.
What's the address?
Uh,
Or the rough?
County Road 10, I don't know
Okay,
what the real address is.
okay.
It's on where Vernon Street runs into County Road 10. Our farm, if you go straight across, you're in our farm. Yeah.
And how long did you live out there?
21 years till I went in the Army. I found out there was something better than shoveling out behind cows and horses and everything else that left behind.
You were done with the farm.
Done with it.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. A lot of people never leave it.
And I know, yeah, I know one guy I played baseball with, I talked to him, he said that he'd farm for like, I don't know, at that time it was like 30 or 40 years, never took vacation. Farmed 7 days a week. About a month later, the bull cornered him and killed him, you know.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So the service didn't, but the bull did.
Yeah. So, you know, farming wasn't all too healthy back in them days because everybody had a bull, you know. There was
Sure.
no artificial stuff done.
Mm-hmm. So what years did you serve in the Army?
55, 56. All in Texas, well, most of it, Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and then Fort West, Texas. I got stuck there as a cadre instructor. So that was about it. All exciting thing went on there. Went to California and picked up an AWOL and brought him back. That was about it. Other than that, there wasn't much going on, except get a new batch of recruits in every 10 weeks and running them through the mill.
What were you training them for?
Well, it was mostly second advanced training, so it was anti-aircraft artillery. We did mostly 90 millimeter, 75 millimeter, 40 millimeter. Any aircraft guns, that's why I wear these.
They forgot to give you the earmuffs. Huh?
You never had nothing then. There was no OSHA, there was nothing.
Yeah.
Probably could get some cotton balls and stuff in there, and that was about it.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty loud. You sit tracks with 450 caliber machine guns on it. You sat down in a little sling, and 2 of them right here, and 2 of them were up there. I tell you, when you cut loose on 450s, I mean, it was loud.
So you decided the military life wasn't any
No.
better than farming?
No, I was in with a sergeant. He had been through World War II in Korea. He was a sergeant first class from Charlie Romans from Tennessee, hell of a guy, you know. But he was a little outspoken, and I say he'd been through World War II in Korea, and this was in 1956. He told the second lieutenant to kiss his behind So when I got discharged, Charlie, he had lost all his stripes and he was in the stockade.
Oh, no.
So I said, this ain't for me.
So you came back here.
Yeah, came back. Worked for FMC in Fridley for 39 years, a little over.
What did they do?
It was a Navy ordnance plant. We made missile gun mounts. Part of the tanks for the M1, part of the turrets for the tanks for the M1 Abrams. Made up a propulsion system for a submarine, which was top secret. So I get a top secret security clearance, about 2 years before I retired, But I was the only journeyman on second shift, so millwright, journeyman millwright.
So you work second shift?
Yeah, most of the time.
It doesn't leave you a whole lot of time for fun around here?
No, I didn't, because I worked part-time at Hamlin Building Center during the day, so I put in 16 hours a day at the 2 jobs plus travel time.
It's impressive.
Only slept 4 or 5 hours a night.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on for 16 years. The end of that.
That's when you quit the second job?
Yep. Yep.
You got married somewhere in there?
Well, I was married before I went in the Army. Well, 2 days before I went in.
2 days, huh?
Yeah. But we known each other all through high school. Well, we got married 2 days before, and she stayed back here and kept her job at Grain Exchange. I sent my allotment home, it was $50 a month, I think I was getting 60 and sent 50 home. Didn't get rich.
Well, no.
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 But I say she worked for a while I was gone.
Mm-hmm. And what's her name?
Elmer, Morin.
Morin?
Morin, M-O-R-I-N. And other than that, after that it was 4 kids, 10 grandkids, and 11 great-grandkids.
Do your kids still live near?
2 of them do. One lives by the, one lives in Buffalo. The youngest daughter, the hell's that?
Life.
The youngest daughter lives in Arizona, and the youngest son lives in Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
A good reason to go get vacations.
Every winter. Other than that, that's about it.
So when you did have time for fun, where did you go? What did you do?
Oh, we, first we had a pull trailer and a couple of motorhomes. We had a lot in Wisconsin, and then we had a couple acres on Indian Lake between Maple Lake and Silver Creek.
Okay.
So we go camp when the kids are home, we go camping about every other weekend. After they left, the wife didn't like camping, so we sold the whole home. She don't like to drive. She wants to fly and get back.
So then for the bars and things, you said you did your fair share of drinking.
Well, yeah, all Germans do that.
Uh-huh.
We, Lake Sarah, we used to get a bottle of Mogan David for 98 cents. Get a little squirrely on that. I'd say the first beer I had was out of Brookside when I was 14, I think. I just freshman in high school.
No,
Sure.
where's Brookside?
Well, if you go up here to cross the bridge, take the first right, go across the railroad tracks, and that first sharp bend, it was right on the left side there.
Okay.
Yeah, that burned, I said burned down when I was in high school, about
Okay.
48.
48?
Yeah, I suppose around there somewhere. Yeah, stay up, we had up Transformer, we had a few beers there. Always Resort, Bud Apples.
describe what they would look like for me?
Oh, God. Nothing special, you know, they were just a bar with a few tables and, you know, nothing special about them that I can remember. Brookside was a very small place, you know, probably 12 feet wide, maybe 20 feet long. Just a bar, a few stools, and that's about it. Transformer wasn't much bigger, it was square building. I don't remember if they had any food there or not. I don't remember if they served any food or not, I don't remember. Then Lake Sarah, we just, most of the time we didn't have 50 cents to get in, so we just sat outside until about an hour before closing time. And naturally, he'd take the turnstile off or let us in, unless I came with my baseball uniform. He was a big baseball fan.
Huh.
He'd let me in free then.
Play ball?
25 years.
Okay.
For Rockford, Loretto, Buffalo, and a few other teams I was drafted with. Maple Lake, Dayton, Hamlin, Delano. I'm in the North Star Hall of Fame from Loretto's.
Okay. Now, there was local guys that played. Do you remember any of those other names that you played with?
Well, Rockford was the Consets, Dixons, Schultz, Levine, Levy. Loretto was the Clarisses, of course. Clapbridge. Can't remember the other guys' names. I see, last year I played was 73, so
Oh, okay.
long time ago.
Yeah. And some of the other guys were saying that they went from ball games over to the dance hall.
Sometimes, yeah, and then a lot of times we'd go to the Rockford House, which burned down in '83. Doc Torbler owned it, and he was one of our fans, so he'd give us free beer after the game.
Oh, that's helpful.
Yeah.
You go with the beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I understand that was a little bit fancier.
Well, yeah, at that time, the bowling alley wasn't on it yet, so it had just, well, that's where you had our wedding reception.
Oh.
You know, it had a dining hall, bar. It wasn't real fancy, but it was, you know, about as good as any place around here.
Can you tell me about having your wedding reception there?
Well, it was much still. You know, my wife was Catholic, I was a Lutheran, so.
I didn't think that was legal.
Well, it was barely. They didn't let us in the church. We had to get married in the priest's house in Hamel. And then we had our reception at the Rockford House, and we had our dance at the Rockford Village Hall where the library is now.
So it was just the meal that you had at the Rockford House?
Yeah.
Do you remember what you had?
No. I don't remember what I had yesterday.
Were there a lot of people that you invited?
I suppose there were like 40, 50 probably, two relatives. Well, most of my relatives didn't show up because I'm very Catholic, you know, that was taboo.
It's a problem.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
Oh, but they got over it. Most of them did.
Well, good. Makes Christmas difficult otherwise.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, other than that, that's about it. Not too exciting life.
Were there other parties and receptions and things that were held at the other resorts or establishments?
I don't remember, you know, a long time ago, but, you know, we went to a couple receptions at Shady Beach. you know, some of my son's friends got married that lived over that way, and they had a reception there at Shady Beach.
What kind of time frame was that?
Graduated in 78, so it probably been around 1980, somewhere around there.
So that one was open for longer than the Lake Sarah Pavilion was.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, I don't remember. They said they took it down board by board, Lake Sarah, and I thought, if I remembered, I thought the damn thing burned down. Might not have, I thought it did. But friends of ours, I say the owner, Ben Mitchell, you know, he was a baseball fan. So. Then Margie, his niece, married her manager of the Red Oak baseball team. And Betsy and her husband have known them for a long time.
Yeah, she told me about making popcorn
Yeah.
over there.
And Carol, her and her husband own Daytona Golf Course. I think they still own it, I don't know where they used to. And the boy, I never knew him.
Did you ever get together with those people in high school?
No, it was after high school. No, I didn't know him, except, you know, from them popping popcorn, but I never, you know, personally, I never knew him.
So the high school kids didn't go down to the dances and things?
Yeah, we did, yeah, some of us, not all of us. Few of us did.
What drew you down there? What was fun about it?
Well, it was the only place to go.
And there was
I
a
mean,
down?
you gotta go there to go to a bar, you know, one of the two. Other than that, you know, it was nothing special. If you want to listen to Whoopi John,
Not your favorite band?
no. Wally Pickle,
You didn't like the polkas?
still don't.
What kind of a German are you?
I don't know. Not a dancer, for one thing.
Did you like watching?
Someplace to go, and that was it. I mean, at that time, you know, nobody had a cab, no horse. After the ball game, that was about it.
You just hang out and talk?
Yeah. Try to pick something up.
Something as in a girl?
Yeah.
How'd that work for you?
Not very good.
I heard it was quite the place to meet people.
Oh, yeah. You know, a lot of different people we met there.
So you said the resorts were still drawing people in during this time for vacations.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember when they closed them along 55. I think they were still open when I got out of the Army in 56. I couldn't tell you for sure. I say the farmers never went to resorts. So.
Farmers didn't get to do anything fun.
That's true. That's why I'm not a farmer. It was like being in jail milking morning night.
Yeah, it doesn't leave a lot of time.
Yeah.
A lot of free time. How did the visitors in town, how did that work with the locals?
Well, in town, like Rockford, I don't, we were any visitors I can remember, you know, anybody, strangers would come in. You know. It was just farmers coming to town to sell the eggs on Saturday night, get their groceries, and that was about it. You know.
So the people that came to the resorts usually stayed out on the lake?
Yeah, as far as I know, I mean, you know, never knew any that come around town here.
Did you ever go fishing out there?
No, I grew up on the river, right on the river, so I did fish there most of all, that's all we gotta do in the summertime, go fishing, besides,
On the Crow?
yeah, working on the farm. Other than that, well, all we had to do was go fishing,
What did you catch in the river?
mostly bullheads, carp, a few suckers.
Like a nice muddy flavor.
Well, the bullheads were pretty good, you know, just skin them, so
Uh-huh.
they were pretty good. Carp would just feed the chickens. The suckers had so damn many bones in them, they wouldn't do nothing for them.
Yeah. I'd heard some of the other bars had coon,
Coon feed,
thank you.
oh yeah, transfer was a lot. Other than that, I really don't remember any of the bars in town had them except for the transformer. That's the only one I can remember.
Did you ever go?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're good.
Tastes like chicken?
No. No, I don't remember it tasted like chicken, but it was good. In fact, we raised coons on the farm for a while. My dad had a 12 by 12 cage, we raised them.
Really?
Then you kill off the ones in the fall, keep a couple of breedings, couples, kill off the other ones, skin them and sell the fur for, I don't know what that time we got for it, 75 cents, probably $1 fur, you know.
I didn't know that happened.
He's the only one I knew that did it. I don't remember where he's going.
Hmm. It's interesting. Did you do any hunting then too?
Yeah, I did pheasant hunting mostly. I did duck hunting, but I didn't care for duck that much, so I just mostly pheasant hunting. I never went deer hunting. Didn't care for venison that much. So just pheasants on the farm and around the country here.
You said Highway 55 went between two of the bars?
Well, it came right through down across the other bridge here. Came down where the barber shop is, made a hard left, went up here to this corner and then towards Buffalo. So it was right down the main drag, it was Highway 55.
Okay. And so then you said it veered from County Road 50?
Yeah, where the old town hall is, it went off to the right on that, I don't know what street or what's the name of it is now. But that's where 55 split off from 50. And come out right this side of where Ingleside and well drilling and engineering and stuff is by the right away.
Okay, you said that was where the transformer in was?
No, the transfer goes up on Greenfield Road and
Okay.
right where the split was. The
Okay.
transfer was right alongside the transfer.
Okay. And it was across the street from another one?
Yeah, the Sykes bar was kitty corner.
Okay.
Across well, at that time, I was 55.
How did Highway 55 being right there by those bars help them?
Well, at that time, you know, there was a hell of a lot of traffic, you know, so I don't know. Well, it helped them actually, you know, it was a main drag coming out from Minneapolis. Come right through downtown Hamel and then went to Buffalo and Maple Lake. So that was about the only main drag. Well, Highway 12 was there too.
Because otherwise, a lot of the roads were still gravel.
Yeah. County Road 10 was gravel until I was in high school. They blacktop it. 55 was blacktop as far back as I can remember. So that where the leader bus come in, the bus stop down here downtown.
Which bus?
Leader Bach.
L-I-E?
Leader Bach. L-I-E-D-E-R-B-A-C-K, I think.
Okay.
They were local, actually. They had a farm right west out of town, here on 115.
And they ran the bus?
Bach, and then what the hell was the name of it changed to? Somebody bought them out. Can't remember what it was called after that. But they had a terminal right on this side of downtown Minneapolis. I don't know, we were on 7th Street somewhere down there. I was there once, I can't remember exactly where it is.
Where did it start?
That I don't know. I only rode it once, and that was from here to Minneapolis and back. Went to grade school. I don't remember. I think we went to the ice flies or a circus or some damn thing. That's the only time I rode it. Of course, then they had the passenger trains are still going through here on the Sioux line. So.
What year?
I suppose about the end of World War II, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Because I know when I was in grade school and country school at Twin Pond, I don't know, a teacher had to send a telegram for something or other, so I had a bike from Twin Pond up to the depot up here, send the telegram.
How far of a bike ride was that?
About 4 or 5 miles, I suppose.
So the depot was still running in the 40s when you were
Yeah,
in grade
late
school?
40s.
Okay. How many trains would come out here?
I don't know how many would come through here.
Did you ever ride it?
No. No. Only rode one train in my life, and that was go pick up that AWOL in California. It was nice. We rode first class going out, and coming back we had to be handcuffed to it all the time.
Yeah,
That was no fun.
nice and friendly.
It was a 2-day train ride.
Did, you know, as boys are always into trains and motors and tractors and things, did you ever go down to the depot and just watch the trains?
No. Nope. Could hear them from the farm
Okay.
sometimes. The wind was right. But I don't remember, how many a day or whatever it was.
Could you hear the bands as well?
No.
So you said that Hillcrest was also Dorn's resort?
Well, if the location is right on here, that's what I was known by when I knew it was Dorn's.
Okay.
Maybe they called it Hillcrest, I don't know, but I would know it as Dorn's Resort.
It was the Dorn family that owned it then?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
What were their first names?
I don't know, idea.
Okay. And then there were other resorts that you remember, like Milky's Resort?
Well, I was there once because Joanne Rogers was a grade ahead of me in school, so we were out there once or something. I don't remember how many cabins he even had. Cabins, that was it, but couldn't have been a hell of a lot of them.
Were they were wooden cabins?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me more about them?
I don't remember. Probably just, I don't know, that time they didn't have running water, they had outhouses. I imagine they had electricity then. What was inside of them?
There was a sweet shop there too?
Not that I remember, could have been, but I don't remember.
Okay. There was like a gazebo.
That was the next resort down.
Okay, which one?
Would have been Frederick Resort. It would have been that Frederick Resort.
Okay.
It was right on the other side of the railroad tracks.
Did you ever go down there and
No,
bike down there?
well, see it from the highway.
Did your classmates go down there and
No,
hang out more? So it really was just for the resort
yeah,
people that were going there? I'd heard there were some pretty heavy flat bottom boats.
oh, I don't know.
I like to.
We never went fishing there, so.
Okay.
I imagine at that time, yeah, cause that's all they had was wooden
Mhm.
flat bottom.
Why do you think Shady Beach kept up so much longer than the other ones?
Well, that was the newest one there, you know, Wally George's built it, I don't remember exactly when. But he lived in it, and him and his family lived in it, and they had just part of it was a bar, you know. I think they had food. Well, I never spent that much time there either. I don't remember when that closed, but it's been closed for a long time.
Mm-hmm. So for you growing up in town, it was a whole different world.
Oh, yeah. Let's say I grew up 3 miles out of town. You know, the time I saw a town was Saturday, we sold the eggs and got groceries, and that was about it, until I got in high school.
And then,
School, that was it. You know, playing ball, I started playing.
would you ride your bike in for that too then?
No, my dad usually come in with, brought me in with baseball games.
You met the town kids then as well as the country kids?
Yeah, when I started high school, yeah. Yeah. Well, there was, most of them were for out of town. There was only, what, one, I think 1, 2 that lived in town, actually.
Hmm. And
The
the high school,
others were country kids.
and you'd gone to the one-room schoolhouse before that?
Yep, 8 years.
How did it change when you went from the one-room schoolhouse to the high school in town?
Not much change, that I remember. I say we were all country kids, except for 2 of them, I think lived in town here. There wasn't much of a change.
Still knew each other.
Mhm.
And that was the middle school, was the high school
Yeah, the one right up here.
on the hill?
Yeah. That was the only all school, 12th grade.
Oh, so everybody went to the same school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we were the biggest class that started there in 47, we're 24 of us. We ended up with 15 graduated.
Really? People
One
just,
moved away,
oh, okay.
one went in the army, went to Korea. That's about it. That's it. The rest of them all moved away.
How did you get to school then?
School bus.
Oh,
We had 3 buses.
quite the fleet.
Yeah. 2 of them went to Hennepin County, and 1 of them came over to Wright County here.
Okay.
And some of them had a pretty long, you know, it went all the way to 116 by Hamel. That was the end of that way.
So they'd really pick everybody up.
Yeah. Well, I could have went to either Buffalo or Rockford, both buses came by.
Okay. So why did you choose Rockford?
Yeah, it was closer to home, you know, like what the hell right over there in Buffalo for.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anybody there, I know, you know, people here.
Sure. So the baseball was your entertainment.
Yeah, that's about it.
Do you remember how many guys were on the team?
Well, in high school, we didn't have enough kids for football teams, so all we had was baseball and basketball. Well, I suppose there was 10, 11, 12 of us.
Was it expected that you were gonna play baseball?
It was what?
Was it expected
Expected?
that you were going to play?
Not really. I never had a baseball in my hand until I was started high school.
Why did you join?
What else could it?
Something other than farming.
Yeah. I said that's all there was, baseball or basketball.
Well, you must have liked it. You stuck with it.
Oh, yeah. I lettered 4 years in baseball, 3 years in basketball.
So you played both.
Mm-hmm.
Which did you like more?
Baseball.
Why?
Just liked it more. I was a pitcher, so I was into the game all the time, so it was more fun.
What was your favorite throw?
Fastball. That's all I knew how to throw. I say I never had a baseball in my hand before I got in high school.
They give you some training?
No, we never had training. We never had a decent coach until I was a senior. We never had a uniform until I was a senior. But before that, we had some guy that thought he knew about baseball, but he didn't know diddly, you know. But then, I say our senior year, we got a guy that knew what he was doing, so that was the only winning season we had.
So it was tough to go up against the other teams.
Yeah, I say we never had uniforms or nothing, you know, we looked like a bunch of farmers.
A little different than it is today.
Oh, yeah, trust me. My grandson just graduated last spring from Highland Park, Texas. There's 500 some kids in his grade. He played baseball. They got 2 sets of uniforms. They got traveling uniform, they got a home uniform. They don't go to games in just a whole school bus, they get a chartered bus. You know,
Wow.
it was a lot different.
What are the benefits and the not benefits
Okay.
for this?
I don't know, we had a lot of benefits. I see we had to go by car to away games. We had a couple guys that couldn't get the car, you know, then we had a coach would drive his car. So between about 3 cars, we get enough guys in. Sure ain't like that, you know, with the chartered bus and all that, you know.
Not so much.
It's unbelievable what high school you went to.
Hmm.
You know, they had a football field, and of course Texas is football crazy, but they had a football stadium and field that most of the colleges around here were, you know, they had an indoor football practice.
Little different from your basketball court too.
The old town hall, we had braces across the ceiling, so if you shot from a long ways out, you had to shoot all along the braces.
So you made sure you were a little closer.
Yeah,
What position did you play in basketball?
center, or forward, center mostly.
Have a little bit more luck with coaches?
No, we had this one coach, his name was Buckholes, I don't remember his last. He come to practice one time, he had some new plays. He got bubble gum cards.
Oh no.
Yeah. No, we didn't have coaches, except, I say, for our senior year, and then the same guy that coached baseball, he coached basketball too. It was a little better.
Wow. Wouldn't happen today either, would it?
No. No. Crazy, got coaches, assistant coaches, and assistant to assistant. Yeah.
Did the kids care though?
No, we didn't know any better.
Yeah.
No, they, as long as they're playing, we're gonna give a damn,
It's something fun to do.
Mhm.
What else was there in town for places to eat and
Well,
things to do?
the cafe down there it's always been a cafe as long as I can remember.
Okay.
That was the only place to eat back then, till the Rockford House got going, and they had food. Otherwise, it was just that cafe down there, that was the only place in town, to get a malt or a burger.
So they did the malts that you'd go down, do malts and ice cream, and
Whenever you could afford it, which wasn't too many times.
how much were they?
Well, you could get a burger and a malt for 50 cents. I think it was 50 cents, it was 50 or less, it wasn't any more than 50 cents.
Where did you get your money from in high school?
Well, working on the farm. Then, when I started playing baseball, I got a little under the table money,
How'd you do that?
illegally. But that helped out a little, Well, my first year I played, I got $20 for the season, $20 at that time was,
That's a lot of money.
a lot of money when I said malt and burger, 50 cents.
Mm-hmm. So that was just to stay on the team? Hmm. Just think how many uniforms you could have bought.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. How did World War II affect things around here, like the cafes and bars and things?
Nothing except for rationing, sugar, gas. If you wanted to get a tube of toothpaste, you had to turn in the old tube,
Mhm.
otherwise you couldn't get a new one. Like, that was the only thing was rationing, sugar and gas, I remember. You got, gas stamps.
Mhm.
Other than that, it didn't affect, anything I could call.
How old were you?
When the war started,
Mhm.
9.
Did you have any family that served in the war?
Just cousins. Yeah, a few cousins, but they all made it through, so. Nobody got killed in the Second World War. Oh yeah, I did. One of my cousins was in the Navy, and he died when the USS Indianapolis was sunk right before the end of the war.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's the only one. That was on my mother's side of cousin.
How about Korea?
No, none of them. I had a few classmates that went through Korea. They all came back. One of them got shot up a little bit. None of them died over there.
Did you enlist at the same time as your classmates then?
No, I went all by myself. Other classmates, they went to the Air Corps, but that was 4 years. I would spend 4 years, So I went to the Army for 2 years.
When you came, different to you?
I'm not gonna change that much, of course, we didn't come right back here, we didn't come back here till 1980, came back to town here. Otherwise, we lived in the Pioneer Trail up by Loretto.
Okay.
But no, it hadn't changed all that much. Well, we had a bakery in town. No, the bakery started actually when I was in high school, but Lund's owned it when I got out of the army.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, it hasn't changed at all.
And the people stayed pretty much the same too?
You know what?
The people?
Yeah. Yeah, up till that time, there wasn't too many newcomers moved in, there wasn't many, new houses built. And it started later on, it started building divisions all around town here. Got stoplights.
The mark of a successful town.
Yeah. Yeah. Water towers. Otherwise, they all had their own wells and own septic systems.
Even in town?
Mm-hmm. There was a water in the septic system.
Hmm. When were the water towers put in then?
Oh, yeah, that was after I got out of high school. Because we own that brick house over here where the veterinary is now.
Hmm.
So I dug the holes for the septic tanks by hand. And that was a year after I got out of school, so it was like 52.
Hmm.
So there was no sewer or nothing done yet.
Hmm. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Sounds like you were a hard worker.
Mm. Yeah. Kept busy. Had to have beer money.
See, now the truth comes out. Uh-huh. Another resort here that you mentioned, Razors?
Oh, that was what you call Frederick's Resort here.
Oh, okay.
Family by the name of Rager when I was, when I got out of the army. I worked, their son worked the same place I did. I think they were from Illinois, if I remember right. They just came here in the summertime to run the resort.
Hmm. And otherwise it was closed up?
Yeah. Yeah, it was all closed from there.
Hmm.
Like sort of all there, so all shut down.
It's all closed, but the
Yeah.
resort's closed too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The only thing I think, well, I don't know what it's called down here, but we called it Mud Apples. Elm Beach Resort, I think that stayed open all year, and then Shady Beach Resort, the house, the old farmhouse up on the hill, they kept that open all. But the dance hall down by the lake, they shut that down to winter time. Nope.
You said you worked with Frederick's son?
No, Rager, Johnny Rager. We worked at the same place. Well, he married a local girl there, so he stayed around there.
Tends to happen when you marry the locals, right? Well, where's Eleanor from?
Hamel. Yeah. Not too far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, they were originally from down closer to Robbinsdale, but then when her dad got out of the army, he bought the farm by Hamel. That's where she grew up most of her life.
So she wanted to get out of farming too, huh?
Well, I don't know. She never, well, she always tells me how hard she worked on the farm. See, there were 6 girls and 1 brother.
Oh,
She
okay.
always said, yeah, my damn brother, all he did was drive the tractor, we had to work.
Boys.
Then her dad did a little truck farming, so they pick pickles, cucumbers, and tomatoes, like melons, and they all down. Farmers market, you know.
Oh, okay. That's some tough work as well.
Yeah. Of course, she's short, so it wasn't too far from the ground.
I know how that feels.
Yeah, I think she's shorter.
So what did the two of you do for fun when you had a chance?
Not a hell of a lot. Go to movies at Terrace, Roundsdale, Lake Sarah. That was about it before we were married.
So that was the hot date.
Yeah.
How long were you together before you got married?
About 6 years. Since high school, since I was a sophomore in high school. She was in 8th grade
Neat.
in school.
Okay, so she
Yeah.
came all the way out from Hamel?
Yeah, I say her bus went to 116 and Hamlin, and I lived on this side.
Okay. What about later on in the 60s, when you were married? What did you do for fun together?
Go to bars with her friends. Baseball game. That was about it. We had kids on the way from 57 to 62.
Keeps you busy?
Yeah.
How do you find life different now to growing up?
I don't know, it's a lot different, I suppose. You know, every prices are all higher. You know, we go on vacation, which you couldn't, you know, growing up. Go either farther than Loretto or Hamel, Birchville.
That's the big day out, huh?
Yeah. Other than that, nothing. Dull life.
I wouldn't say dull. You worked a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, say 15, 16 years I worked 2 jobs.
Yeah, doesn't leave a lot of time for anything.
You know.
Is there anything else about the resorts and bars and things that you can tell me? Tidbits?
No, not to remember. No, nothing. Nothing too exciting.
I heard there was a lot of fights at the bars.
No, not so.
So you weren't in the
No,
middle of them, huh?
Not a great deal with it, you know. Once in a while, you know, where it wasn't excessive that I remember.
Okay. Well, I would really like to thank you for your time doing this. I really appreciate it. So,
Pleasure.
well, it was good to sit down and talk.
Now, is your maiden name Maple Camp?
No, my married name.
Oh, okay.